Today's guest is one of the most multifaceted women that I know. She's the only woman that I know that can catch a fish, fillet the fish, seal a floor, and dance and make pierogies for like a year. The one and only, my mom, Maryann Golden.
Thank you, Jessie.
Seriously though, I did this poll when I first started the show, and I asked people who they wanted me to interview. And a lot of people were like, your parents. I want you to interview your parents. So you're in town, so I'm like, I have to interview my mom.
I'm excited.
And there's so many interesting, we were joking about it, like all of this happened organically, the Golden Secrets show. But what a lot of people don't know is you had a show when I was a kid called The Golden Hour.
Yes.
And which is so crazy because you had there was two different shows.
Right.
Which are totally different than
Totally.
each other. Do you want to tell us what they were?
One of them was representing my dance studio, and the other one was fishing and a cooking show
Because,
to cook the fish.
yeah. And we actually have footage of, so you would catch the fish and then you would come back to the house and you guys would film at home. And I know we actually have footage of me like coming through the kitchen and messing everything up
Right.
while you guys are shooting because I was hungry. But I want to go back because honestly, every time I do interviews, people ask me about who my inspiration was or how I am the way that I am. And every time I go back and I think, I'm like, you know what? I guess my childhood was not normal at all compared to most people's childhood. So you had a dance studio for over 40 years.
Yes.
I literally grew up in that dance studio.
Yes.
In the 80s. There was like craziness going on. You taught the Chippendales, you taught the Chicago Bears, hip hop and all this. I mean, it was just, that was my normal. But looking back on it, that was not normal,
Yeah.
like childhood, to grow up in. But how did you start the dance studio? Because back in the 60s, that was like a big, right? Is that when you
Right.
started?
Yeah. In 1964, I graduated, and I was given a scholarship to Illinois University in dance. But I had met your dad, and we decided that we didn't want to do that. And luckily, the studio that I was an assistant teaching in offered to give me the entire school in Maywood,
Wow.
Illinois. And I said yes. So that's how I started. And we went from there. And when my grandma passed away later, she left me enough money to open up my own studio. So your dad built me a studio.
Golden School of
that was it,
Dance,
yes.
which was the best dance studio in the Chicagoland area for over 40 years. And now you're continuing to, I think that's the other thing too. Like I asked my mom, I said, can I tell everybody how old you are? Because to me, it's just insane. She's the OG Golden Secret. She's 71. And you constantly reinvent yourself. You're still in the dance community. You've been a judge for one of the best national dance competitions for the last several years. And you're literally, what it sounds like, all your best friends are like 30-year-old gay men that are brand new to the industry.
Yeah.
So it's pretty amazing though at your age that you're able to reinvent yourself and still be relevant and, in the community.
Yes, I love judging. I know a lot of the Rockettes. I have a lot of connections throughout the United States.
Yeah. Well, you
It's
taught
great.
so many people and
Yes.
they all went off to do
Different
things in the
yes.
dance world and stuff like that. So let me see what else other questions I can ask you. I was thinking on the way here, I was like, I think everybody wants to know what was the worst thing I ever did.
Oh, goodness.
I know that there's a lot, but if there was one, what would you say?
One of the things that was crazy was Jessie got into witchcraft. And the school called me because she was wearing this dark cross and she was doing witchcraft at school, I guess.
It's true.
And they were like, you have to talk to your daughter
Yeah.
and fix this.
I thought I was a witch and I wanted
Yeah.
to do spells. So
Yeah.
But I think that's the one thing too, like as a parent now, obviously I try and like learn from the way that you parented me. And I think to myself, if my son did half of the things that I did, I don't know if I would be able to handle it. So I love that you always allowed me to be me. I was a very unusual child. and I was always doing weird things, and you never made me feel weird. If I said, "Oh, Mom, I was talking to spirits and flying with," you're like, "Oh, that's so great. Tell me more." You know, whatever. It was never, you never made me feel weird. And we grew up in a very open environment, a very loving environment. And obviously, dance was the foundation of my entire childhood, and continues to, lay my life now,
Yes.
in different ways. But is there anything else that you want to share?
Let's see.
Because I'm going to ask you your beauty secrets, because you really set the foundation for me and Jenny, my older sister. You were always very, even with the students at the studio, I remember you set up classes for us so that we learned how to take care of our skin and put on our stage makeup. And,
Right.
you always were very serious about teaching Jenny and I how to do all of those things.
Yeah, that was always important to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you modeled you were such a great model, because obviously the golden secrets, that really comes from you and you teaching me how to do all of these things. And then the affirmations. And when I thought about it, I was thinking, when I started modeling, there was a lot of people asking me how I dealt with the criticism, or how I dealt with, being judged by the way that I looked. Dance had made me bulletproof from that. But I never, in my entire life, until more recently, when I was a child, I never heard you talk bad about yourself. You always had such a good, a good attitude about yourself and your self-worth, and you took care of yourself, and you were always very positive.
Yeah, that's always been very important to me.
Yeah. You had a lot of people.
Never to let yourself go, just always
and you
keep
continue.
it together.
And you continue. You're on this new diet right now. You just lost even more weight. Not that you had to lose any weight to begin with. But what keeps you motivated to do that?
It's just so important to always look good.
And feel good.
Yes. Feel good, look good, never let yourself go. Very important to me.
And Grandma was like that. So I was raised by you, a strong woman, and Grandma was a really strong woman too. She actually played for the Chicago Merchants. She was a softball player.
Yeah.
What was that like, being raised by someone like that?
Oh my goodness, it was amazing. But I remember one time she was also good in volleyball, and she had to go. She went fishing with Grandpa in Wisconsin, and she said, "Can you take my place on the team?" It was the most embarrassing thing I ever did. I couldn't get the ball over the net. It was like, oh my God.
Because she was an athlete.
Yeah, and everybody thought it was crazy.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
She was literally a league of their own. When we see the pictures and stuff, she had little satin outfits on and everything. And she was a big part of my childhood too. Huge part of my childhood.
Yes.
I had two strong, independent, multifaceted women raising me, and I'm so grateful. But if you had to share, I know what your golden secrets are, and I love that they're not common. Now everybody is so strict about certain things, but I'm always fascinated by asking people, like, what are your secrets to a long life, or beauty? And so if you want to share, what would your golden secrets be?
My golden secrets are, of course, always keeping myself looking good, eating good. And I love to travel, so I travel a lot, as much as I can. And I love wine. So I have to have my wine every day.
You do. There's a lot of Mom drinks enough wine to actually get the resveratrol, so the anti-aging really kicks in there. But I think that's the key, is balance. I think sometimes people get, if you go too strict, you kind of lose a quality of life. And I think you've really mastered your daily practice. You eat good, you exercise, but you allow yourself to have fun and travel and drink your wine. And I think
I love to walk on the beach. Fortunately, I live in Florida, so I can walk the beach whenever I want.
Being in nature, being in the sun, and all of that stuff. All of that good stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Mom. I'm so happy you guys
so
could come
much.
today.
Yes. Thank you, Jessie. Love you
Thanks,
too.
guys.
Thank you.